Our film starts with a falling glowing object in space heading towards Earth. Along the way, it collides with a satellite, challenging its course and entering the atmosphere. At this moment, we see a child named Josh looking through a telescope at what's happening. Suddenly, that weird body enters the room and falls into the fish tank. When he told his mother about it, she didn't believe him, so Josh sat and watched that weird body, noticing it absorbed the water in the tank. 3 months later, we see a large fireball in space falling next to the Statue of Liberty. When the fire goes out, a person wearing a white suit named Dave appears. A blue light passes over his body, after which he moves strangely and walks around the city, observing and trying to interact with the people. Suddenly, as he crosses the street, he is hit by a car with a strong impact, injuring his leg. When the woman driving the car checks on him and calls for help, she finds he has disappeared from the scene. We see him on a side street and suddenly something strange happens. His ears opens like a door and a tiny person comes out of it pressing a button on it, causing another part to open like a door, revealing wires inside. The small person starts fixing the wires so that Dave's leg can be repaired. After that, we see another person inside Dave's body recording data on his leg, then heading to the brain, where we discover that this person is actually a robot from space controlled by aliens with their leader called the captain. We notice that these aliens each control different parts of the robot, and ultimately they send a report to the captain. The report informs the captain that Dave is not functioning due to the incident and that the robot will only work for 2 more days before breaking down. So, the captain decides to gather the team to solve the problem. We learn that the planet they came from has faced a geological disaster, and the captain tells them that they need to find the energy core that fell on the planet 3 months ago to solve this catastrophe. The team doesn't know how to make the robot behave like a human, so they searched on Google. At that moment, we see Josh taking the weird object that fell in the fish tank earlier and putting it in his backpack. When he looks out the window, he sees Dave, and he thinks he's drunk. When he tells his mom Gina to check, she recognizes the man she hit. When she goes down to check on him, she finds that his leg is perfectly fine. The team inside Dave's body tries to communicate with her and tells her that everything is better now. Gina offers him to go out for a drink, and fearing she might inform the authorities, the captain allows the robot to go with her to avoid any trouble. When he goes out with her and drinks water, he loses internal balance, but the small people inside his body, aliens, quickly regain control of the situation. However, Dave and Gina get to have some chit-chat, and Gina notices that Dave behaves in a very strange way, even drinking ketchup like water. Then, Jeff notices a picture of Josh with the energy core and asks Gina about the details of the photo. She tells him that her son took it in the science lab and that it's his project. Believing that the body came from space, the control team decides to look into it. Dave asks to be excused and leaves. Later on, we see the police searching for the strange body that entered Earth, and they manage to determine its shape. At this point, one of the team members becomes very frustrated with the chaos in the city. Dave walks by a children's park and they tease him about his clothes, so he goes to a clothing store to buy something that fits with today's fashion. There, he behaves very strangely and realizes he needs money to make a purchase. He scans and clones some money, then buys the clothes and wears them. Jeff goes to the boys' school and the principal there mistakes him for a substitute teacher. He enters the boys' classroom, introduces himself to the students, and starts explaining things about the planet they came from that they don't understand. Then he told Josh that he had an energy ball that he needed. Josh refuses to give it to him, saying it came from space. But Dave tells him he needs it and that he wants to help. Josh informs him that a bully named Rich took it from him, so they go together to look for Rich. But they can't find him. Then Josh learns that Rich will be at the exhibition tomorrow, so they agree to go together. After that, Josh goes home with Dave and they play on the PlayStation together. Josh notices that Dave plays in a very professional way. Josh starts telling him that he really loved his father and that he was a real hero. At that moment, Gina arrives home and invites Dave for dinner. One of the controlling team members tells the captain that they will be exposed this way, but he doesn't care and agrees to the invitation. After they finish eating, Dave notices a strange painting, and Gina tells him she painted what she felt when she fell in love. Dave asks her how she knew she was in love, and she tells him that when you love someone, you don't need to ask that question, and Dave didn't understand anything about what she said. Then he asks to be excused and leaves. Later, Dave goes to sleep next to a homeless man on the street. The man covers him up because it's very cold outside, but Dave doesn't feel the weather. Then, they both fall asleep. At that moment, the captain tells his crew to go to sleep and rest because it was a long day. Then he notices the team member 3 is on, and she explains that humans watch a particular movie on Christmas. So the captain crew members 3 watch the movie together and get affected by the film, feeling emotions towards each other, but they change the subject and say that humans surprise them every day, and then they go to sleep. During that, police manage to identify the appearance of the strange creature that landed on Earth and start searching for it everywhere to arrest it. The next day, the energy in Dave's body was at 20%, leaving him with only 12 hours before it deteriorated. The crew found out that Dave is wanted by the police now that they know his descriptions. At night, Dave went with Josh and Gina to the exhibition to retrieve the body. There, Dave participates in an eating contest and wins because he's the fastest at eating the sandwiches in front of him. The dude has no digestion system, for God's sake. He wins a teddy bear and the team initially thinks it's a monster, but they realize it doesn't move. So Jeff gives the teddy bear to Gina, who is very happy with the gift. Then Dave sees Rich attacking Josh. So Dave quickly intervenes, grabs Rich, flips him over, and takes the energy ball from him. After that, Dave invites Gina to dinner to celebrate her birthday. One of the crew members gets upset and argues with the captain because he thinks this will expose their operation to failure. But the captain doesn't care and asks him to leave. At night, they all go to a Latin restaurant. At that time, the police located Dave's location and they went after him. Then the controlling crew started imitating human behavior. Number 3 was wearing a dress like the one she saw at the party and changed her look. She asks the captain to dance with her, but he doesn't do it to keep his focus on Gina. Number 3 gets annoyed and leaves. At that moment, the police arrive at the restaurant and arrest Dave, leaving Gina and Josh wondering why he got arrested. Later on, the crew applied disobedience to the captain. Number 2 asked them not to follow the captain's orders anymore. The team starts moving under the leadership of Number 2 and Number 3. The officers are able to hear the conversation the aliens are having inside David because they forgot the microphone was still on. They quickly shut it off and Number 2 informs them that he is now the leader and any strange behavior is not allowed, or they will be punished. And while the officers were busy talking together, David pointed a laser from his fingers at the door's lock and managed to escape. When the police tried to shoot at him, it didn't affect him. When Dave exits and sees Gina in front of him, Number 2 decides to take revenge on her because she was the reason their mission got compromised in the first place. He makes David tell her that she's a cold person with no feelings. At that moment, Number 3 objects to Number 2's actions and goes to free the captain, but Number 2 catches them and pulls them out of David's body through his nostrils. The captain and Number 3 are very scared because humans are much larger in size. Number 3 tells the captain that she's upset he chose to dance with Gina instead of her. They then cling to a bag to fly away and go to Dave again. But the bag lands on a car and the driver throws them off, causing them to fall into David's shoes. There, the captain apologizes to Number 3 and tells her she's the smartest one. Then they climb up to Dave. At that moment, Dave stopped a taxi and asked the driver to take him to the Statue of Liberty. Meanwhile, Josh couldn't believe that Dave was the one doing all this, so they followed him to find out the truth. By then, Dave has arrived at the Statue of Liberty and the captain has also entered his body, taking charge alongside Number 2. And before Dave can throw the energy ball he's holding into the water, the captain stops him and tells Number 2 that he is back in control, and the whole crew votes for and supports the captain. Because of this turn of events and the chaos inside the command room, the ball falls into the ocean and starts absorbing water. The crew realize that Dave has only enough energy left to either retrieve the ball from the ocean or return to their planet. The captain asks them to save planet Earth and they agree. Dave manages to pull the object to him, but then his battery fails. Just then the police, Gina, and Josh arrive. Josh took a stun gun from the officer and shocked Dave with it, causing him to wake wake up. He moves, opens his mouth to let the captain and number 3 go out and say goodbye to Josh and Gina before Dave flies away to return to his planet. At that moment, the U.S. Defense Forces threw a net over him, causing him to fall to the ground. The whole team then rushes to Dave's boot and flies away with it, leaving Dave alone on the ground with number 2 trapped inside him. Along the way, the captain asks number 3 to marry him. She says yes. And that's it. If you like this recap, hit like, share, and subscribe to our channel to keep seeing content like this one. If you have any requests or thoughts, drop them below in the comment section and we will see you at the next one. Peace out.